Yeah, nothing new. Doesn't
No,
explain everything
the
that we.
only there is, I believe, I could be mistaken, Andrew. I think the only thing that's new is some checks that they wrote to Care One, which
Yeah, it's so I know
it's
what
just
we're
a
going to mean. It's circular reasoning. It's, hey, these expenses are fair and reasonable because we paid them. Like nobody's accusing them of committing like not paying these expenses. That's I guess my frustration is they feel empowered to pick the perfect straw man argument of exceptions that we didn't raise and ignore everything else. I mean, we're getting to a huge problem, Christine, in terms of what they've just done, right? They're reaffirming their commissions when they know that there's accounts that don't exist. They
Right.
know that, right? I know that there's been kind of some pushback about things like recusal and things like that. I don't, and you can kind of explain it to us how there isn't an obligation just on your guys' part to raise these issues beyond.
Recusal means there's a conflict. Recusal means there's fraud. That's a whole
No,
other.
that's not what recusal means.
So maybe you're using the term different, like when you were using the home closed, the not closed.
Rule 12.1 is if there's even the reasonable impression in which bias or unfair. It only needs to be a reasonable a
I
thought.
mean, unfair is an understatement.
Creed, religion, gender.
So, Rule 12.1.
And in my situation, the way I see it, it's her argument. It's their argument. They have their client. They're advocating third point. We're advocating for you guys. And so.
I mean,
Yes.
we're starting from the issue that, right? He lied to you. He's lying on the. I mean, from you said you used to do the ethical.
So again, you and I chatted. That could be a legitimate issue outside of this. This will not stop the litigation on ethics. You have litigation. Can you finish that, and then you can file your ethics?
No, Christine. I mean, again, it's going to be what you're.
Yes, and again, so I'm just drawing the line. I do not do recusals. I just don't. I've never in my 30 years have had to do that. If we do, then we'd have to pull in another counsel. I don't know the basis of it. I don't know the form. I don't know. I just don't. We go by the argument.
Recusal is a notice.
This is a substantial, legitimate accounting. Here are our arguments. Not outside of that. That's a whole different battleground. Recusal, ethics.
Andrew, can't wait. Hold on, Andrew. Hold on one second. So Christine, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So we know that things aren't getting to Judge Mega. We know. I mean, clearly they're not. No, clearly, like they wouldn't have answered the way they did if they, for a minute, thought that he read our response, right?
So when you say they, because so we have the judge. He looks at both sides and he makes a decision. So if they're not putting through an argument,
what if our side is not getting to him to properly make that decision?
I want to keep this on track.
Process and motion to reconsider, then appeal.
So Christine,
No judge wants
I have to stress this. You should look into the recusal requirements because
But I'm just telling you, I'm not going to do it. I wish I could tell you differently. I'm not.
Okay.
So either fire me and.
So it's not. I mean, you guys know that's not a I don't do that is not a. Christine, that's not a basis for.
If you told me to go into bankruptcy call, you told me to go into PI. I don't do that area of law, so I won't do it.
From an ethical standpoint, if
you're accounting and to say, hey, is there enough here? That
Okay,
should
what can we bring up? What can, in that respect, how can we say, hey, we don't feel comfortable, we don't feel.
Maybe spell it out a little bit better to me. They're saying, hey, here's the accounting, approve it. We're saying no. And we listed all of those reasons in the answer saying you can't judge because the commissions were calculated wrong. We don't even have all the field documentation to support the numbers they submitted. And number 3, I think they breached their fiduciary duty that they didn't even honor my client's grandmother's wishes about hospice.
No, so I need to speak. So Christine, I just want a very straightforward.
Okay.
If you are aware that the opposing counsel is making knowingly false statements to the court, you do not have an obligation to disclose that and raise that issue.
So I would report it to ethics. Ethics would say, thank you, finish your litigation, and we'll circle back to it.
So
That's
you should.
good. That's really all I could do. If I know someone's lying, I know someone's stealing.